Hi all. This week I've been making Salsa Verde, which is there's lots of different variations and it sounds quite posh, but actually what they mean is grinding up or chopping up a load of fresh wild greens and adding some delicious flavourings like olive oil, lemon juice, olives, anchovies. So I've been making lots of different recipes. I'm going to show you some of the plants I'm using today. So here we've got some hairy bittercress. The last time I saw this, it was right in a crack on a pavement on a busy road next to a corner shop, which is not really where you want to be picking your fresh wild greens from. This one, you'll be glad to know, lovely pristine field in the middle of our local wood. Obviously wild things may well have peed on this, but it's going to be a lot less dodgy than picking it from the pavement outside the corner shop. Obviously good idea to rinse it. So I'm going to pick a little bit from here. So the hairy bittercress is in the cabbage family, Brassicaceae. Okay. Hairy bittercress is in the cabbage family. It's a brassica, from the Brassicaceae. All members of this family are edible. Some are more tasty than others. This is delicious. Don't be pissed off by the name hairy bittercress. Latin name Cardamine hirsuta. So it's got the trademark. I'll see if I can show you one here. It's not a very bright day, so the flowers aren't fully out. But when they are, they have 4 petals. So these tiny flowers each have 4 petals. That's a trademark of the crucifer or brassica family. All cabbage family plants, 4 petal flowers, like a cross. A lot of cabbage family have these leaves. So it looks like a miniature watercress, which is basically exactly what it is. Different species, same lovely peppery taste. I'm going to have some now. A deer might have weed on this, but I'm going to take a risk. You can also eat the flowers. And it's all peppery, watercress taste in a miniature. Amazing. So I'm going to put some of this in the Salsa Verde for today, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so here we are at the other side of the wood, and in this field I know that we can find some sorrel. Just behind me, I'm going to put my hands, I want to show you in a minute. We've got Rumex acetosa. This is actually sheep sorrel, which I've forgotten the Latin for. So it's a smaller kind of sorrel, we can use it just the same. So here we are. We've got this tiny sheep sorrel. Common sorrel is a lot bigger. So you can see this leaf gets to about my my knuckle on my finger. About 5 centimetres. The main thing you've got to think of with sorrel is not to confuse it with lords and ladies. I've seen a lot of lords and ladies, I can tell the difference straight away. First of all, location. So we're out here in sunlight in the middle of a field. You won't often find lords and ladies doing that because it likes semi-shade. Secondly, sorrel is a more matte green. It's not shiny glossy. There will be no spots on it. Okay, so just so you can tell them apart, I've got here in my palm a sheep sorrel leaf, and here we have a lords and ladies. So you can see the similarity. We've got the forks at the back and the sheep sorrel. Obviously when these leaves are mature, the lords and ladies leaves are much bigger. This is a mature sheep sorrel leaf, and this is a mature lords and ladies below. So you can see the size difference. You're most likely to confuse them when they're the same size. You've got the young leaves. So putting them close together, you can see the sheep sorrel that I'm holding is a matte colour. And the lords and ladies is shiny. If you crush this and smell it, you've got to really crush it between your fingers, you should be able to get a little bit of the tang of lemon. If you crush this, you can't really get much of a smell, but you'll get a burning sensation if you try and put that in your mouth. And I've even got a little bit of a, I think I just got stung by a stinging nettle actually. Ouch, see, there you go. If you put this in your mouth, you're going to get a burning sensation. But to avoid that, if you rub this and give it a really good sniff, you should smell the tang of citrus. And that is the oxalic acid in the sheep sorrel. So same as rhubarb. That's what gives it that lovely tang, full of vitamin C. And delicious. This, not delicious. Poisonous, will burn your mouth. At least it's not going to kill you, because you're going to spit it out as soon as you eat that, okay? Because it tastes like burning needles in your mouth. Lords and Ladies contains raffined crystals of calcium oxalate. What that means in English is that it's got sharp, spiky needles. Tiny microscopic sharp needles of calcium oxalate that will actually pierce into your taste buds and not give you a very nice time, to be honest. So that's the difference between them. This, tasty, that, not. Our old friend, dandelion, Taraxacum officinale. Most of you will be familiar with this plant. Just in case you're not, very common, what you'd call a weed of cultivated land. You find it in allotments, you find it in gardens. Low growing rosette, long lanceolate leaves, spear shaped, and they've got little teeth running down the stem. To me, they look like dragon tails. So that's how I like to remember them. Spring growth, really fresh, tender and green. And if you cut it, you can see milky sap. That contains a constituent called bitters. And bitters is really good for your digestion. It actually helps you digest fat. So we're going to add some of this delicious bitter component to our peppery and sort of very textural salsa verde with our other ingredients. So if you don't have dandelion, you can use yarrow. That's also bitter. There's various other bitter herbs you can use, but more about that in my webinars. Okay, oh, it's Missy, oi, I'm doing a video. So here, health and hygiene, no. So this is Tiger, my cat, who is not allowed on the worktop. So I've been breaking up all the bits of dandelion, sorrel, also all the sort of peppery cabbage family plants, breaking them up and giving them a good old grind with the pestle and mortar. And the best really I can do with a pestle and mortar is this sort of paste, which actually works fine once you've got your olive oil in there. If you have a food processor, of course you can use that and you'll get a really smooth finish, but I like to do things without electricity anyway. Really good exercise as well. Yeah, I'm going to show you when it's finished before we add the other ingredients that I bought from the shop. Okay, apologies for the music. I mean, it's really good music, but it was in my last clip. I hope you could hear what I was saying. Okay, so I've mashed up everything that we saw and foraged, and I've already added about a tablespoon of olive oil. So I'd say we got about a cup of wild greens. So I'm going to put another tablespoon type amount in there. And after that, so we haven't got that much in here, but I didn't want to overpick the sorrel. So I've only collected just enough for us to use for the next few days. And I've also got some other pestos and salsa verdes that I made earlier that I've got to finish as well. Hopefully my son will eat them too. So now I'm going to add some Salsa Verde recipes call for cider vinegar. That is what's in this bottle, but it's infused with ash keys. And I did that last year. So these have actually been in this bottle for about 7 or 8 months now. So they are nicely infused. And I'm going to use these instead of capers. So these are the inside seeds of the ash key. I literally peeled the ash keys and took out the inside seed because it was a little bit late to eat the whole thing. It wasn't tender enough. So we'll use those instead of capers. And I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of this vinegar. Because we've got the sorrel in there, I'm not going to put any lemon in because that's given us our lemony hit. Instead I'm going to put some of this vinegar in. We'll see how it goes.